All right, this review is going to be a little different from my other reviews, and it will be 5 Buck USA made slip joints. And all these knives, except for one of them, were made before 1986. So they're older and they have been used and abused. And I actually got them off eBay. And all these knives I've got for between like $15 and $25 each. So not a bad price when you're getting a USA made older knife. But as I said, these knives have been used and abused, and you can tell when I show you these knives that they have been carried in someone's pocket for many, many years. So I'll just jump right into it, and they're all from the 300 series, and they don't make, I think they only make the 301 and the 303 still, so you can still find those online on Buck's website, but they don't make these other three, and I'll show you them. So the first one up is going to be the Buck 305 Lancer. And this guy's pretty tiny. There's the little tank stamp. And these guys don't have little symbols by the number, so that signifies that they were made before 1986. As much as you know, Buck, they have little symbols next to the number, which correlates to a year they were made. And I'll show you that in I think the 302 for an example. But this is your smaller Buck. All of them have black plastic handles. You just tell it's been used many, many times. And you have the smaller sheep's foot blade. And I did not put all the use on these knives. Like I said before, I got these off eBay. And yeah, I think it's really cool. I'm a big history buff, so seeing these knives with all the use on them, and it fascinates me. Looks like this one was kind of shaved down or carved out a little bit. I'm not sure if that was on purpose or just over the years it happened. This one is a Buck 309 Companion. This is a 2-bladed knife with the long nail nick. And again, this one was made before 1986. So these knives are over 35 years old. You have the smaller pen blade. You have the old Buck emblem. So that's supposed to be a Buck 119 and a hammer. And back in the day, Buck would show how sharp his knives were, and he would cut a bolt. So he put a knife over a metal bolt and then smash the knife onto the bolt, and it would cut the bolt in half. And that was his example to show people that his knives were sharp, if you're wondering. Next, this is like a medium Stockman. It is the Buck 303 Cadet. Your standard 3 blades on your Stockman, but you can see that the blade has been used a lot, and it's been resharpened many, many times. Look at that, you can barely see the grind on the blade, because this person resharpened it at home many times. And again, the sheep's foot blade is just beat, but it's still sharp. That's the thing, it's still sharp, it'll still cut. And these are knives that our uncles, granddads, and fathers carried. So just your standard Stockman. And all these knives, all the back springs are flush, there's no gaps, and they stay like that over the course of 20, 30 years, which is really impressive. All right, then we have, this one is newer. It was made in 2015, but they stopped producing this one, I think, a year or two ago. This is the single-bladed Buck 302 Solitaire. And look at that, there's no gapping. And you can tell someone used this one too. Good snap. All these blades have good snap on them. So as I was saying earlier, you can see next to the 302, there's a little symbol, and that symbol correlates to 2015. So this buck was made in 2015. But the blade is actually in really good shape compared to the handle and the bolsters, I think. It looks like the bolsters have been, tumbled around a little bit with keys in a pocket. So it's pretty grippy. You got the lines on the handles, and all of them were supposed to have this grip, but a lot of them have been worn down, so it's smooth on the handles. But you still have the buck symbol or the shield with the Buck 119, the hammer and the bolt. Then you got the Buck 301 Stockman. And this is your typical large Stockman. And this guy's been used and abused. Look at that. This one was made before 1986. And I just think it's really cool seeing these knives that have been used so many times, and it just takes me back to when times were a little more simple and when a guy only had maybe 1 or 2 knives to carry, and that's what he carried. I mean, most people didn't carry or have 30, 40, 100 knives. This was their little companion in their pocket that cut everything from food to strings to maybe gutted some rabbits. It was a one knife for all uses. Got a little bit of rust right there. Have to sand that out. But yeah, no major gaps, and it stayed like that. This one was also, if I didn't mention, made before 1986. So all 4 of these knives are older than me. I was born in '93. I know I'm young, but I really like seeing these older knives, and it's really interesting. Tell me what you guys think, if you guys have any of these older knives, and if it's pretty nostalgic, I think, and pretty cool. All right, thanks for stopping by.